Have you lost the drive to hunt? What does that look like, and how do you rejuvenate your spirit? We've got Whiskey and Windage podcast along with Chris Cerino of Gun Talk here on Gun Talk Hunt. I'm KJ. You found the right place. We go all over this little blue orb, sharing stories and tactics about chasing wild game. Now, let's get on the hunt. Welcome in to another Gun Talk Hunt. I'm your host, KJ, and this episode is brought to you by Savage Arms, Remington Ammo, and Range Ready Studios. Hey, today's episode is more, maybe you never lose it. Maybe you never lose that drive for the hunt. Sometimes you may lose it, and you start finding yourself a rejuvenated spirit for the outdoors, and that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk with Mike Perkins out of Tennessee to Matt Brass out of Idaho, and they are the duo that make up Whiskey and Windage podcast, and we are excited to have them on. And we got Gun Talk's very own Chris Cerino in studio. So without further ado, let's jump in with Mike Perkins of the Whiskey and Windage podcast. Mike, how are you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing good, KJ. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was on an episode of Whiskey and Windage and have an absolute blast with you guys. And the way you guys have a way to line out how you operate with your guests is absolutely phenomenal. If you guys haven't listened to it, go check out Whiskey and Windage podcast, because I promise you'll like what you hear.
Appreciate that.
But today we're not going to talk about Texas football. We're not going to talk about Oklahoma getting it handed to them by your Longhorns. So let's just end this right now. Texas is better than Oklahoma right now.
Right now. All right, I'll take that. Thanks for coming. Good night.
And that's all from Mike Perkins. Like, get him out of here. No, we're talking about kind of a rejuvenated spirit in the hunting, and I've seen this come from guys that maybe have burned out or anything like that. And we talk about like reflections on what made you almost quit. And I've got so many of those stories. What do you think about that, Mike? Where does your mind start to go when I say like instances that may have almost made you quit?
Been there, done that. Man, I gotta say that when people talk about their deer stories or their first time they harvest game, I'm one of the lucky ones. Just to put it in perspective, I killed my first buck at 10 years old, which is the legal age you can hunt in Tennessee, on the opening day of the season within the first 15 minutes of first light.
Dude, you're ruined. Like,
I know. So like I had a great teacher. I had my dad. We hunt on private land. He knows the place like the back of his hand. And after I shot it, he made the comment, "You realize it took me 5 years to harvest my first deer." And jokingly, I was like, "Yeah, and I did it in 15 minutes. Let's go to breakfast." And he was like, "Okay." So, man, I took it for granted. I've been there. I've never hunted WMA or never hunted public land in my life. Yeah. Everywhere I hunt is private. Nothing is high fence. Nothing is baited. Yeah. But there's not a day that I went in the woods that, unless the wind was bad or the weather was bad, I always saw deer. Yeah. Always. And so, man, you take that stuff for granted because you hear these stories. So, yeah, I got burnt out because I gave myself the rule on my land, and I'm blessed that I live on the land that I grew up hunting on. Now I'm not going to shoot anything unless it's bigger than what I've already shot. So I kind of go out on this property and just sleep. I mean, honestly.
Naps almost did you in, man.
Yeah. But it's tough. I let other people come out and hunt. And if you're a new hunter, yeah, or if you are someone who's never killed a buck, whatever walks by that gets you excited, take it down. Yeah. But if you're a seasoned hunter, my rule is 8 or better. I don't care how big the basket is. Give me 8 or better, unless you see some funky rack deer walking by. But it's like, man, I want to preserve this for the next generation. And I find more fun now watching people go hunt, whether it's deer or turkey, and actually being a part of it and doing the calling or working with them than actually pulling the trigger myself now. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm getting old.
No, you're not getting old. I think it's just a a matter of the time that we're in our hunting phase. Because I mean, when I moved down to Louisiana, man, going on like 8 years ago, it was a little bit tougher for me because I was constant. I'm kind of the same way. Like I have a lease, I have private land that's all connected, and it's a beautiful hunting property. And when I was driving up to Oklahoma, it's like I was driving up by myself. I was doing all this stuff, and I'd go out and I'd spend a weekend, and then I'd be back in the office on Monday. And that's 21, 22 plus hours of driving, and that could have ended it for me if my boys hadn't reached the age of being able to hunt. That could have sealed it for me. I wouldn't have gone maybe once a year, but
Yeah.
man, that makes such a difference to be able to drive someone else to know that they're going to have a great experience for me than anything else.
Well, there's something to be said because although I grew up hunting private land, my dad, his brother, and all their friends would still go put in for draws on the public land and they would get it. And I mean, these guys would show up, I mean, pulling up in like Cousin Eddie style RVs and all this stuff. And they would hunt, and maybe one of them would shoot a doe,
Yeah.
maybe. But I was always like, this is boring. We're not killing deer. Why are we here? And I wouldn't want to go. But the older I get, the more I realize it's not just about the time you sit behind the trigger. It's building those relationships and hanging out for a few days around the campfire, eating horrible camp food most of the time, and just sharing those stories and having those laughs. And it's a way to unplug and to grow together.
Man, it really is. And when you lead right into the next thing, like the value of an unplugged hunt. And what does that mean? Like we're unplugging from society, we're unplugging from our phones, we're spending time enjoying the outdoors. That rarely happens because there was a time when you could just step outside the city limits and you would have zero cell service. Those days are gone. You have cell service everywhere. Everywhere. You get a Starlink and you'll have it in the mountains. Like, and you're not unplugged. Like, that's no longer unplugging for me. Anytime you can reach me is, I mean, it's everywhere. And I miss the value of that. What do you think?
I think there's something to be said for that. You know, now when I hear about hunters going in the woods, it's like they get up there an hour before daylight and they're in there not making a sound and they've got their AirPods in and they're playing Candy Crush or something on their phone, waiting for the sun to come up. And you're like, okay, I guess that's cool if that's what you do. So I'm ADHD, man. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna fidget. So if that keeps you still, that's great. But you're actually going out there just to hunt. You're not actually going out there to unplug, and that's fine. But I like to unplug and become one with nature and just kind of watch the chipmunks or the squirrels that bark at you when you think
Yeah.
that, like, hey, surely nothing's going to see me up here. And of course you got like four squirrels alerting you and all that stuff, but that's part of the fun.
Yeah. It is. I mean, man, it's just so hard for me. I can unplug very easily. Ask like my wife, like she will not hear from me during a hunt. Like she just knows, like he's not accessible. Like there's no way. But but on the other end, like I will plug back in if it's going to benefit me on a buck. Like if I have to go over to Onyx or something like that and go, okay, hey, what's the best route? How's the wind? Like if I go out here, what's the wind going to do over in this like draw? Like that's when I start plugging in and being thankful that I do have service.
No, that's true. That is true.
I
I mean, I
mean,
guess it also depends on the type of hunting you're doing. I mean, if you're hunting in an area that's super thick and you've only got two or three shooting lanes and you've planned on sitting there all day and you've already missed the first active part of the day and you're
mm-hmm.
somewhere, that mid mornings already came through, so the big bucks have already walked through again. It's like, all right, what do I do between lunch and 2 o'clock in the afternoon? I don't want to get down. Like, I guess it's cool in moderation, but I don't know. I mean, it's to each their own, I guess. It's just
Yeah.
I'm not that.
Well, I'll tell you this much is if you're sitting up in a tree stand, the best thing to do is hang your safety strap as about as high as you can get, where right as you sit down on your seat, it adds a little bit of cushion to you, and you take a nap. Like you go to sleep and just be quiet because you'll find yourself. What I find is you'll start tuning in and you'll hear more. Like if you're just completely unplugged and you're sitting there very still, if a deer's walking by, you're gonna hear that deer.
Yeah.
Right.
I probably shouldn't nap then.
You're out. Like it's just like you're
Yeah,
done.
like, dude, I'll either sleep or I'll probably snore and scare everything in the woods. I don't know, one way or the other. Something will happen.
So what's your preferred? So when you unplug and when you get back in the woods every year, what's this hunting style that you go for? You say you're a little bit ADHD. So are you a spot and stock guy?
No. So see, like I said, I really hunt private land. So, if you've ever hunted in Tennessee, it's thick.
Yeah.
It's thick. I mean, you've got honeysuckle, you've got all the different low brush. So 100-yard shot in Tennessee, unless you're hunting someone's field, it's a long shot because it's so thick.
Okay.
So you basically get up in a tree and you sit there. So it's more like Cadillac deer stands, like the big box, fully
That's
enclosed,
awesome.
just sit in there because you're not going to stalk. There's too many leaves. There's too many branches. They're going to hear you. There's too many hills. They're going to
Yep.
see you. And 100-yard shot. So it's not like out west where you can, walk to this ridge line and not mess up what you're doing. Like if you move, they all see you.
Yeah.
So you just sit down, shut up, and be quiet and wait for them to walk by.
Makes sense, man. It definitely makes sense. All right. Hey, Mike, thanks. We're going to get you back in at the end of the show. But for
Absolutely.
now, let's head out to Idaho with Matt Brass. Matt, how you doing, dude?
I am really good, KJ. I appreciate you having me. Good to see you.
No
Happy to be
problem,
here.
man. Well, I'm glad you don't share the same. I hope you don't share the same sentiments about the Longhorns as your cohort, Mike Perkins, over there at Whiskey Windage.
Look, if you want to see me awkward and out of place, try and include me in a football conversation.
Oh,
I
you
just see a
sports ball.
football field as
Dude,
a waste of a good gun range, honestly.
oh
So,
my gosh, yeah. Like that's how I feel about golf courses. Like it's just that's
yeah, yeah,
like that'd be cooler if you were like shooting some targets down those ranges.
yeah.
So we're talking about rejuvenated and rejuvenated spirits, like new guns, new grounds. Like you're out in Idaho, so you're out west, so you have a totally different experience than Mike and myself, Chris Cerino, and a lot of others across the country. So what what's the vibe of hunting for you when you head out to the range or head out and hunt? Public land, I'm guessing, right?
Yes, almost exclusive. I've never hunted anything that wasn't public land. And the majority of hunters out here, it is public land. And we're in the state of Idaho, we're really blessed that our state protects a lot of that, puts a lot of it aside for citizens to be able to use for pretty much whatever they want. But it also is it's pretty big country.
Yeah.
It's big.
It
There's a
is.
lot of it.
There's a lot of it, but like narrowing down where you get, I mean, the longer you're there, the more you get out in the woods, the more familiar you're going to become. Whether you're talking thermals or just terrain and what temperatures and thermals do to an area. But that's one of the bigger challenges, as I think, is getting people out into new areas because anymore, you working from remote, like doing a remote job, like that you can do from your home, and you can live wherever you want. I think it's placed a little bit newer challenge to those hunters looking to get back into hunting and
Mm.
looking to find their way back into the woods. And how would you address those folks that get to a new area that are a little bit intimidated by public land because maybe they've hunted private all along and they've
Mm.
moved out of state, they've moved to a new area. What advice would you give them?
Have a good pair of boots. Like
What's your go?
or
I'll have it. What's your go-to pair of boots?
honestly, my hunting boots, I'm usually wearing Danners of some sort.
Yeah, like a
It's a good
pronghorn or something
quality.
like that.
Not too expensive, but I only have to buy. I'm not I'm not the great white hunter of the north, but I do get to spend some time out out in the country, and I've been wearing Danners for about a decade. So,
So I mean,
but have a good set of boots and be willing to put some miles on. Really,
man, but that's so that to me that's intimidating. Like if I'm new to an area, man, it's like that's why I like. I'm not kidding, and I am not sponsored by Onyx. I am a firm believer in Onyx. Man, it has
yeah,
never failed me. I'm dropping waypoints like breadcrumbs, except they never leave. So,
right, yeah.
because you can
Onyx
get
is
lost.
it's a powerful tool out here for sure. There's a lot of ground to cover. Um,
Well, how?
yeah, good boots and good glass.
Yes, amen to that. My gosh, we were looking through a pair of Zeiss glass yesterday, and holy crap, it's absolutely incredible. Like how far glass has come nowadays is unbelievable. No, but take your pick. If you're spending quite a bit of money on some optics, like you're going to get great glass. But
Yeah.
so the challenges that we have discussed, the boots, like getting a good pair of boots, like how has that played a role in how you get out and hunt?
Honestly, it plays a huge role in having just all around having decent gear. Especially this time of year in Idaho, there's lots of temperature change, and all across the West. And the further north you go, of course, the worse that it is. But temperature change, it can get cold real fast. It can get wet real fast. It could then immediately get hot real fast.
Yeah.
And so, gear, good layers, good pair of boots, all that stuff is really important. Um, and it almost also can't be done without machinery.
Yeah.
Um, a four wheeler or a side by side is almost a necessity, uh, especially if there is an animal down. You might be 10, 12 miles in the backwoods trying to move an 800-pound elk, and like you need the equipment to do it.
Man, you haven't said one thing that I'm like, "Oh man, I would hate to do that." Like even don't give me a vehicle. Don't give me a side by side. Hiking an elk out if you're 10 to 12 miles back does sound fun.
I'm not that guy.
You're not,
I'm not him. I am. I'm not. I got to be honest. I'm not him. Give me. I need the four wheeler.
man, or a horse. Just give me a horse. Like,
A horse. Yeah. We still have a lot of mule skinners out here. Mule skinning is a real thing, and there's guys that breed and run mule teams specifically for packing game animals, and
is that something
it's
that
a they're
you can hire those dudes, right?
Yep. So if you're up here hunting this way, looking to shoot a trophy bull elk, you will probably first off need a guide, but that guide he's probably going to know a mule
Yeah.
breeder.
I will
Um,
say have them lined up before season. Like so that's like
yes.
one of my tips I give everybody whoever comes through here is doing an out of state hunt. Plan ahead. Look up shipping services for your meat, taxidermist local area,
Mhm.
processor if you need it. And mule skinners are the same way. If you're going to hire a team to come out there, they need to know that there is a possibility that you are going to be on their radar. Um, man, contact local game wardens. Like, talk to them about rules, regulations, where you can't go if you've already mapped out that area. Those are a few challenges that guys get up there and they don't think about. They don't think about, okay, well, what if I am successful?
Yeah.
Wait, what if
Really
this really
successful
happens?
sometimes.
Because it seems so it seems like guys that dream of hunting out west, they dream of success. They don't dream of the hardships that go along with it. And that's where like the miles you put on your legs and everything that takes a toll. Because my first hunt in Idaho did not go how I thought it was going to go. It's straight up, like there was no flat ground present. It's hard hunting.
It
And
can be very hard.
oh yeah, like it absolutely can be, and that's why like you know listen to the Whiskey and Windage podcast. You'll start learning a little bit more about what the terrain's like, and you'll hear a little bit of insight um, from Mike and Matt. You got to put yourself in that mindset, that winning mindset, and part of that is like taking that hunt from start to finish of all the what ifs. Is that
Yep.
something you find that hunters don't often do, Matt?
I think it's kind of a mixed bag. So people who grew up here and understand that way of hunting, it's a complete lifestyle here. I personally grew up in Idaho, but not in a family of hunters, and so I didn't start hunting until my early 20s. Um, and in my personal experience, it's definitely something that I didn't plan for.
Right.
Of, hey, I'm going to walk a lot further than I thought I was going to. Most of the deer that I'm going to see are not the deer that I imagined in my mind that I would find. Um, and when I do down an animal, like, how do I get this out of here by myself?
Yeah.
So the planning is really important, and I'm an idiot, so I learned the hard way. But
You sound
that's
like
why
a
I
lot
know.
like me.
That's why I know I'm not. I don't want to be 10 miles in and drop a
Yeah.
bull elk without a four-wheeler. I
But
know
see,
I don't. I know I don't.
Matt, I'm the opposite. Like, I'm just dumb enough to go do it and then go, well, I guess I got to deal with this now. Like, I'm not smart enough to think ahead. So you're actually smarter than you know.
But you're tough enough to get it done regardless. They say if
No.
you're gonna be dumb, you got to be tough.
I don't know if to take that as an insult or a
It's
compliment.
a compliment.
But well played if it was either.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something that you got to think about the forethought, and don't let your nerves, I guess, is kind of don't let your nerves or nervousness of experiencing something get you out of hunting. Let it rejuvenate your
Yeah.
soul and into new and exciting things. I guess is kind of how I'd bring that around.
I'd say definitely don't let it scare you off, but do also come with an education of, like, out west, Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Nevada, we have huge bucks, we have huge elk, and the animals get huge because they've never seen a human before.
Yeah.
So to find an animal like that, you're going to have to go places people don't usually go. And you could be rewarded with a trophy, but it's not all fun and games. The large majority of it is hard work.
Yeah,
So,
you're gonna ride the struggle bus.
Yep, right, the struggle bus.
Yep, it's just something we all have to ride on. We ride it together, but every once in a while we let a couple off to have some success. All right, we're gonna jump in here with a break, and when we come back, we're gonna be with Chris Cerino of Gun Talk right after this. Woo! When the shot matters most, clarity counts. The Zeiss Conquest 4 delivers unmatched precision, crystal clear glass, and rugged dependability. Built for hunters who chase perfection from the first light to the last. From whitetails to western ranges, trust your hunt to Zeiss. The Conquest V4, confidence through clarity. See your hunt differently at zeiss.com/hunting and find all those woo moments. Looking to trim a few LBs out of your pack or just your firearm? Check out the Savage 110 Carbon Predator. 2 swing swivel studs, matte black carbon steel receiver, 2-piece Weaver style bases, proof research barrel. Yeah, it's carbon wrap, so that's where some of the weight savings is going to come. And you won't be disappointed because they offer it in a lot of different variations. 6mm arc, 223 Remington, 22-250, a favorite of mine, 308, 65 Creedmoor, and 300 Blackout. Now, you're talking about weight. You're talking about, well, how much really is it going to weigh? Trust me, you're going to be able to carry this thing all day. It's under that 7-pound range, so I promise you it's accurate too. So trust Savage 110 Carbon Predator for all your weight savings. Tired of your range time being just mag dumps and Instagram flexing? Enter Range Ready Training, where Director of Awesomeness and everything else, Chris Cerino, turns keyboard warriors into actual warriors. Or something like that. Pretty dang close, I would say. Yeah, the guy's been there, done that. Pistol, check. Rifle, check. Yeah, we got it all. Force on force, we do that every now and then too. Bring your bruises, instructor development. Welcome to the Thunderdome of Learning. It's more than training, it's range ready because real life doesn't come with a respawn button. Looking to level up your hunt and tighten up those groups? Well, look no further than Remington Ammo. Yeah, the stuff in the green box is super accurate, and they've got everything from hunting ammo all the way to NRL like match ammo. So check those out. Remington Premier, from Premier Tip AccuTip to match grade ammunition, all in that green box you love, you trust, and you adore. Find it all at remington.com. All right, we're back with Gun Talk Hunt, and we've got Chris Cerino in studio talking about a rejuvenated spirit for the hunt. Chris, you and I kind of like melded together into a beautiful teaching union, and it rejuvenated your spirit. Talk through that.
It did, and honestly, that sounded a little weird to me.
Right.
But, I teaching hunter education has really helped my passion come back, especially relocating to Louisiana, not knowing what to do down here, and what that hunter education class did for me was not only make me excited about hunting because you see all these bright young faces, but it also educated me. Because I'm learning more about Louisiana's hunting laws and rules. And when you don't understand anything, you get intimidated.
Right. Well, it's an easy thing to do, and you see it on the other side, on the training side of things. But like when you lose an interest in hunting, or it just doesn't seem like I'm not saying it should be a priority, but it loses its luster. Like, there's got to be a catalyst for like that rejuvenation.
Well, the people you hang around with, the area you're in, of course, because if I was in the city, it wouldn't probably have been this easy. But I'm out in the country, obviously, and I have you, and I have really cool people I get to hang around with. But what is it? What is it that I truly loved about being in the woods and hunting? What was it? And it was
being by yourself.
Well, I
mean, come on.
I mean, you do enjoy those quiet times. And as your life gets busier, sometimes those quiet times are bad because your brain's working out and it's thinking about it. But what did I truly love? I'll tell you what, watching the woods wake up, watching the woods go to sleep. And, and I've been listening to these guys talk, and I can't remember which one said something about, taking a nap between lunch and 2. Lunch and 2. Okay. I can't tell you how many deer I've shot between 10 and 2 because of all the people walking in and out of the woods, especially if you're in public areas. I mean, people get cold, they get frigid, they want to eat, they got to go potty, all that stuff. And I tell you, that's my high alert time.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that's high alert time, but because animals do tend to start to move a little bit later, depending on time of year. Like early season, I've found that they're going to move early, just determined by temperatures and hunting pressure, and they're not used to having all that pressure on them. And then the later in the season it goes, they move back because it's the breeding season. They're chasing, they're chasing down those ladies. But I go back to like us teaching hunters education. And it's such an easy way to give back. I find, I don't know what you think, but it's easier for me to give back that way. And I try to take at least 2 to 3 new hunters a year. Like if they haven't been out or they haven't been out in a while, like that's one of the coolest things. And I took a guy out once, like you'll enjoy this story. So he has never hunted, always kind of had an interest in it, but no one to take him. So I take him. And he shoots a doe. I was just like, hey, come out for a special doe season. I'll let you shoot a doe. And he shoots it. And I'm like, hey, I got to go get the truck. I'm going to leave you here. I'll be right back. Like I get back and he's just standing over this deer with his hand on it. And I can tell that like he is emotional. Like he is shook. Like, cause he knows that he shot a deer.
He ended a life.
Yeah.
Just say it.
I know. He did. And like you could tell he was emotional about it. And I was like, you okay? And he goes, yeah. He goes, this is a little bit more powerful than I was thinking it was going to be. And I was like, well, that's good. That's a good thing that you have a little bit of emotion.
Yeah, you should have respect.
You should have respect. And then he goes, man, my family's going to really enjoy this meat. and I go, there it is. I was like, all right.
Right.
And like little moments like that, like help me like get a rejuvenated spirit. I never really fully lose it, but it's like moments like that for me that go, man, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, because my kids are grown and they're gone. And I do remember Colton's first deer. And I remember I was getting something out of my backpack and I heard him over there. And I heard him say, I'm sorry, buddy, but I had to get something this morning. And he was over there. I turned around and looked at him, and he was knelt down next to that buck, and he was petting him. And he was really cool about it. I mean, he wasn't upset about it, but it was like he had respect. And that's a cool thing, you know?
Well, I like it that he was like, it was you or nothing. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
was
going to be you or me.
Yeah, you or me. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm sorry, buddy.
You know, it's funny because everybody I take to the woods pretty much does the same thing. Just
Really?
like your thing. I mean, nobody is like, oh man, that was great, and look at that. Oh, my blew his guts out.
Yeah.
And, everybody's
It's more
always like,
reverent. Like
wow, that was
like
powerful.
Like a self. It's a like a they're connecting. Like I think it's those little moments that I'm like.
Yeah, well, we
exactly
came
why I
from
do this.
cavemen, and that's what they did. They
Some
hunted.
of us still resemble that.
Yeah, I know. Some of us still act like
I
it.
mean, there's still
You may look like a caveman, but I act like one.
there is some truth to that.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into the woods. Of course, this year out on the private lands, which are semi public around here, because you never know what you're going to encounter.
You never know. So, what guns are you? What guns would you say is there guns that rejuvenate your spirit every year?
You know what? I really like hunting. Listen, I never got to hunt with bolt action guns because we always hunted with shotguns out there and lever guns. So last year I did that. This year I'm actually contemplating taking a lever action gun, like a 45 long Colt, with some double tap hard cast in it.
You're in the method stage.
Yeah, and honestly, I would like to get my muzzleloader out again when primitive rolls around. And I know primitive here isn't really primitive; it's single shot, and it can be breech loading, which is really not primitive.
What would you take?
I would take patch and ball. I'd take my old cat.
Your old flintlock.
It's not. I don't have any flintlocks, but I do have a percussion side lock.
Yeah,
so
that'd be fun.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking about those things, and honestly, I'm considering getting back into. I always hunted with crossbows in Ohio because I have bows, but I'm not good with it, and I don't practice. But crossbows are cool because I can kind of slip into the woods, and I can just walk around.
Yeah,
and honestly, I see more deer walking around and just spooking around in there, and I walk, sit, and with a crossbow you can do that.
Oh yeah,
and it's all year long, which means you can go when it's nice out,
right?
In the early
you can
season,
pick day,
early seasons, and spend more time in the woods. Because really, the more methods you use, the more time you get to spend in the woods. And after all, it's all about time in the woods. And since it's spread out over so many months. If you only go, a couple, 3, 4 times with each, method for hunting, you get that much more time in the woods.
See, my problem is that every time I am like going out to the woods or anything like that, like it's always like close locally. There's not a lot of deer, and the deer that I've seen are very small. They look like yearlings. And then I go up to Oklahoma, and I'm driving so much back and forth between there and Louisiana, is that like that wears on me. It wears so much on me that like primitive season comes around, but it's a week after youth season. It's a week after. And so now I've got to go, well, do I want to make another trip to Oklahoma?
You need to start killing small deer in Louisiana. I mean, honestly, the hunt is the hunt.
I know.
For me.
No, you're right.
For me, it's about the hunt. I mean, you saw
but I go out.
The last alligator I killed.
I know.
Obviously, that was not about the gator's size.
No, it wasn't. I still say that was one of the smaller gators I've seen.
It was the smallest gator I think I've ever seen.
Really?
But
no, not the smallest. I mean, you said
4 foot 9 inches.
4 foot 9 inches.
That's a tiny one, guys.
That is
just
small.
letting you know.
All right. Hey, you know what? Let's bring everybody back in here. Mike, what final shots you got for us?
Man, I think something that all hunters, all shooters should do is take a new person shooting. You know, set them up for success. We talk about that on our podcast. While all of us secretly, well, maybe I'm just the only evil one, secretly watch, you know, the YouTube shorts or whatever it is, and you see the fails of watching these guys shoot overpowered firearms that they're not ready for. You know, while that may be funny to laugh at, you know, that's a person that's probably not going to come back into our sport. So set someone up for success, take them out, and even if you can't change their mind, they may be anti-firearm, but as long as you can get them to at least give a little smirk, like, yeah, that was kind of fun, like, your job's done.
Yep. Man, it's a great point in taking people, and I've by the time this airs, I will have taken a new. He hunts a lot. He's never shot his first buck, so hopefully I've got some great things to report when this post. But I took him out before season. He wanted to come out, help fill feeders and stuff, which I thought was ridiculous because we were leaving Friday. We were coming back home on Saturday. So that's 22 hours of driving in 2 days. And he wanted to do this. The kid's 12 years old. And I took him out there, filled feeders, got everything ready. He saw where he's going to be hunting. He is completely jacked to go hunting. And I took him out. We set up a real quick range, and I had him shooting out to 500 yards.
Man.
He's never shot anything over 100 yards, and the kid's hooked now. And so hopefully you're exactly right. Hopefully we just continue to breed little successes like that to transform who is going to be the next generation of us. All right, let's jump over to Matt in Idaho. Matt, final shots. What do you got for us?
Honestly, just anybody, if you didn't come up hunting, maybe you're not a huge hunter, but you're curious at all. Like you said, take somebody new hunting, but try and embrace that. It's a huge part of this country's history. Is feeding ourselves off of the game that's here, and take granddad's old rifle or shotgun out in the woods, get you some game meat, and enjoy it with your family.
Man, dude, you hit on something that I hadn't initially processed, and I'm glad you did. Like, maybe it's a new method that will rejuvenate your spirit in the outdoors, like taking your grandfather's rifle. Like, that is awesome. Like, I think that's a great tip. That's probably one of the better ones I didn't think about. So, but yeah, that's awesome. All right, we're gonna jump over to Chris right now. Chris, your final shot. Let's hear it.
All right, I've been thinking about this for a little bit, and quite honestly, I think that getting back into hunting for me was one of our favorite analogies. It was eating the elephant. And you know what? You don't have to have everything you need to get back into hunting. You don't have to have it all at once. You don't have to have the best gun. You don't have to have the best clothes. Get the old clothes out. Get the old seat that you sat on in the woods forever. You can buy a new one next time you go to Walmart, or you can buy a better one. But it's eating the elephant, and it's just little bites at a time, and just getting out there for, even if it's just a portion of a day, you get a few hours out there with your old gear and your dirty old, seat that you sat on in the woods.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? Those feelings come back, because I started, when I was thinking about this, I thought, you know what? That's how I did it. And it really did. The feelings came back, the smells of the woods, the sounds of the woods, that little bit of tingle, because you're all alone out there in the woods, and you get a little scared, especially in Louisiana. I mean, because there's stuff out there. So yeah, get back out there. Don't think you got to do it all at once. Don't think it all has to be, all A+ gear and attitude. Just go out and spook around. And when you start seeing the tracks and the scat and all that stuff, you remember why you loved it.
That's yeah. I don't know where I can go from there, because these guys covered it all. Mike, Matt, and Chris. My final shot is this: I don't really think you've lost it. I don't think your spirit is gone. I just think you've got to find it. And whether it's taking someone new, trying a new method, The only way you're going to find that spirit of the hunt is just to get back out there. That's it for me and Gun Talk Hunt. Folks, you know the drill. Keep those muzzles pointed in a safe direction and always be on the hunt.